Hello, party people. What is going on? Mr. Challenge here is coming at you here with a very kind of unique sort of video uh, regarding Dofus Unity's beta and the kind of reception it's been getting, the kind of backlash, particularly when it comes to character designs. And of course, I am coming from the Dofus Touch perspective. I am a Dofus Touch player. I don't have a dog in this fight. As at the time of the recording of this video, there's no plans that Touch is getting any of this stuff on our end. But I am a fan of Dofus in general. I love the characters. I love the brand. I love Ankama. And I do want to weigh in and give my perspective on this, simply because I understand both sides of the coin. Right, I understand where Ankama's coming from and where the fans, the players are coming from. This particular post I have on my screen, it's been making rounds, especially since Ankama responded to it, which props to this guy here, Papi Noir. I'm not familiar with the PC side of things. I don't know who this guy is, but obviously this is somebody who works on the game. Right, he's putting a lot of work and effort into it, and for him to respond like this is very rare. This guy obviously, he's invested, right? He's putting in a lot of work into this project, and for people to just lash out without having like the facts and the context, it sucks. It sucks. So another reason why I wanted to make this video too is because I do work in the entertainment industry. I try to avoid any personal info regarding myself and stuff like that, but I've worked on movies, video games, animation, entertainment stuff with sizable fandom and fan bases, stuff like that. And we get stuff like this all the time, all right? And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys, and I'm gonna keep it real. When you write something like this, something that's very emotional, and especially, and of course this was in French, and I'm using Google Translate to auto translate. But when you start a very confrontational, you lost already. And like I said, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. When we get something like this, we laugh at you and we call you a loser. Like I said, some of you guys might not like what I have to say, but this is literally what happens, right? Where you come up right off the bat, confrontational, right? We don't pay attention to this because there's literally nothing constructive in here other than a very emotional response. And if you don't believe me, I did run into a video where I saw from Pirate Software, and this video is going to be edited too. Hopefully it's within 10-15 minutes, but I saw this video, and I'll pull it up here in a second. When I saw it, I was like, yep, that's 100% relatable and 100% correct. Okay, so this guy here, he used to be a former game developer. He used to work at Blizzard. He used to work on WoW, which is like the biggest MMO, right? And this is what he has to say. And if you don't believe me that we make fun of you when you write something like this, just watch the video and definitely follow this guy if you like game development stuff, especially when it comes to like MMO stuff. But here, let me play this video.
So I banned about 2 million players when I worked for Blizzard. The reason why I liked catching people that were botting is twofold. One, I love solving a puzzle. And what I would do is I would try to find detection methods to be able to find those botters. And number two, I really like reading things like the Owned Core forums, because that's a place where a bunch of people who use bots actually go. And they would go on there and they would cry. And I would print them out and I'd put them on the wall around my desk. And we would get pizza on the days that we did ban waves. We would sit there and drink their tears. And it was the funniest shit on the goddamn planet to me. I only botted one time and I lost my WoW account of 10 years. Eat my ass. Hilarious. Funniest shit on the planet to me.
So there you go, folks. This is literally what happens when you write stuff like this. And I do want to say it's okay if you don't like the direction or something, a property or a brand that's doing. It's okay. But if you want to get feedback, make it constructive, right? Because at the end of the day, people are working on these projects, real people, okay? real people with jobs, families, and friends, just like you and I, just like this guy over here, right? Papi Noir, right? So be mindful of that when you give feedback and when you don't express your opinions when you don't like something, because this is not the way to do it. This post is a wah wah. I don't like it. Change it, right? And like I said, I'm gonna keep it 100, and some of you guys might not like what I got to say, but a lot of the comments I've been seeing, it's a lot of this stuff here, which is it's horrible for the developers and it's horrible for the game. Nobody wins when you post something like this. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to weigh in on this topic, just because I have a unique perspective on it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go through the post here, and yeah, this is not it, folks. This is not it. So here the guy, okay, so he starts off by talking and making comments about how the backgrounds are blurry. And in this paragraph here, there's literally nothing constructive about it. And again, there's another kind of like a jab at the developers, like, oh, are you a studio of 4 employees, right? Again, nothing constructive about this. And this tells me this guy, and again, nothing personal against this guy, but reading a response like this is telling me this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, right? He's literally playing a beta, and he's complaining about unfinished work. That's what he's angry about, or disgruntled about, or disappointed. I don't know what to tell you. He then moves on to talk about the characters and how the characters are using like the same skeletal structure and the same animation and stuff like that. And I'm gonna take a moment to talk about this a little bit in further detail. So again, this is a beta. This is unfinished stuff. You know, they showed us stuff where the customization options you could put on different heads, the different features on the different characters. Literally none of the stuff is in the beta right now. And again, it's just complaining on like, look at this. None of the stuff's implemented right now. It's a beta, dude. Like they literally have like the foundation of what they're trying to accomplish here, and people are criticizing that, not knowing that this is a jumping off point. I have seen a valid criticism, and I'll give this to you guys, where the silhouette of the characters, they're all using the same body type, which is, again, this is a valid criticism, because like part of what makes these characters unique is the different shapes and sizes, right? And unfortunately, I don't have the game boot up right now, but you can literally swap between the characters at the character selection screen, and it's the same silhouette for all of them. And again, that would be a constructive criticism, right? Hey, you know what? You guys are using the same skeletal rig for all these characters, the same animations and stuff like that, but we're missing out on what makes the characters unique, which is strong silhouette, right? One thing that stood out to me, especially if you guys saw my impressions video, was the seller. I always thought the seller were little short kids, and for them to be the same size as the other characters, I was like, oh, that looks a little bit off, right? So I get that, right? I get that side of the players and criticisms coming on that side. But again, you got to be constructive about it, right? You got to approach it with honey rather than vinegar. Like, hey, I get how you guys are trying to create modular body types and modular animation systems, but you know, this is affecting the uniqueness of the character, this proportions and the character silhouettes. And you know, I think we're missing out on how strong the visual design we're missing the visual design elements that define these characters. And you know, what can be done to find a middle ground, right? Or what can be done to accomplish both sides of things? That's how you want to go about it, right? Offer solutions, offer constructive feedback, right? Don't just offer, wah, wah, I don't like it, change it back. No, nobody wants to hear that. That's just whining at the end of the day. So he does have a valid criticism here. He just went about it the wrong way, right? He went very aggressive, and 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 again, this is not the way you wanted to approach it. Here he talks about the map sizes, how they're too small, and what's going to happen when there's 8 players and stuff like that. I'm not going to comment too much on it, just because this is gameplay related, and I'm not too familiar with the gameplay elements of the PC side of things. So I'll leave it at that. This is more map stuff. Character designs are horrible. Right? Where is the constructive criticism on that? Right? This is an opinion you're making here. We're moving towards a 2 kawaii Dofus chibi. Okay. No, we're not. Okay, this guy again, he's making an emotional argument. If we look up chibi, oh, if I could type here. Okay, this is chibi stuff. I'm sure you guys seen it. It's like super deformed characters, giant heads, small bodies. There is nothing chibi about this. About these new designs. Like what's this guy talking about? These guys don't have like freaking giant heads. This is chibi. So this is telling me this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Again, there's a huge difference. If you can't tell the difference between this chibi design and this new Unity design, then you need to get your eyes checked. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing chibi about this. Okay, so he goes on to, the community has been telling you for years that this is not the direction we want the game to go. And that's the thing, you don't dictate the direction of the game. You are a player, you're there to enjoy what Ankama has to offer. Okay? This is the job for artists and the art director of the game. This is not your job. You don't tell people what to do on your own product. Okay? If you don't like it, it's okay. If you don't like it, you don't like it, right? Go somewhere else. But you never tell people what to do on their own project. And you don't listen. Yeah, because they're not supposed to listen. Right? Colibri has revealed designs that are light years away in terms of quality from yours. The community made it clear to you, and you didn't listen. And again, I want to make a point across that people work on this project. Real people work on this. Different artists work on this project. A big reason why Dofus 2.0 looks the way it does is because of a particular artist called Sa. Alright? This guy used to work on Kama. Obviously you could see some Dofus stuff here. This guy had a huge influence on the game when he was working at the studio. This guy's no longer with them. Colibri was another artist. Let's see if this pops up. Dofus. That's some of her. Let me see. Does she have her ex? Let's fucking go here. Okay, so yeah. So this was another artist that worked at the studio, right? Obviously, her art style is different from Sa, right? Sa has a more anime-ish style. She has a more like kind of rendered style, right? Two different styles, right? I'm sure when she was there, she influenced the game by being employed by Ankama. She is no longer at Ankama. So whoever's working on this game, right? This is their new art direction. And this happens all the time, guys. Art direction, visuals change depending who's working on the team, who's working on the project. Case in point, if you look at Batman, right? Batman looks different depending who's working on Batman. If you look at Batman from Frank Miller, he's gonna draw him like this, right? If you put Frank Miller on a Batman project, he's gonna draw him like this. But if you put Bruce Timm on there, he's gonna draw him a little bit more cartoony. because that's his style, right? And people got to understand that a style change, not just because they want to change it, right? There's various reasons why an art direction would change. Uh, Part of the reason is, they don't want to keep working on the same things again, right? It sucks that people are so hesitant for change. But if you don't change, you stagnate. If you don't change, you don't evolve, right? Is this perfect? Are these Unity designs perfect? No. No, they're not. I mean, I personally don't have any problem with them, but I'm not crazy about them either. But I understand, like, these initial designs are going to evolve and change over time, especially if new people come on board, and especially, the whole point of this thing is to expand the customization too. So a lot of the design elements are driven by function, right? The function to customize. So I know, this is something that's kind of like a level deep from people's knowledge and their perspective, but this is why a lot of this stuff is happening, and I think people asking why is this happening, right? I think if people are asking those questions to the developers, maybe they could get a concrete answer that that will help them understand a little bit more, because change happens. Change happens. I mean, we looked at Batman. Shoot, if we look at Link from Zelda. Let me see, Link. Zelda. Here we go. Look at this. This is all Link throughout the decades, right? Sometimes he look cartoony. Sometimes he look more cel shaded. Sometimes he look a little bit more realistic. Sometimes he looks chibi, right? Stuff changes. It's all Link. It's just a different art direction. Different people are working on it. And you don't have to love it, right? Look how cartoony and this Link looks like it's made for kids. But also this is Link. Look how badass he is. He's got all this detail on his shield and stuff like that. So another comment I'd be seeing is that, the new art direction is because it's on mobile, right? They want to put Dofus Unity on mobile. And again, this is another misinformed comment, because the platform does not dictate art direction. And I repeat, platform does not dictate art direction. Have you guys seen what mobile games look like? Mobile games do not look like this, guys. If we look at one of the most popular mobile games, Raid Shadow Legends, look at this. This is a realistic fantasy mobile game. This is what mobile games look like. Look at all this realistic detail they have. Look at these anime characters. They got all this freaking armor on them, all these freaking glowing weapons. You got orcs. Look at this. How can you compare this to the Unity designs and say that the Unity designs are driven by a move to the mobile platform? No, and again, this is another misinformed comment. Look at all this detail they're putting in here. This looks like... And again, mobile games look... They're just regular ass games. Just on your mobile device. So keep in mind, art direction, character design, it's not dictated by whether it's on PC, mobile, or consoles. No, it's dictated by the tone of the game and the art direction itself. Alright? So let's go back here. The characters are distorted with NPC monsters having the world of the 12. Really seems the game is copy and paste. I'm feeling my Okay, so yeah, this is another thing I've seen where people are making comparisons where NPCs look a little bit better than than the Unity designs, and again, this is another misinformed comment because you're comparing a character actor that is supposed to be dynamic. Let's see, Dofus Unity, right? You're comparing a character that's supposed to move around, cast spells, run around, be able to equip hats and capes and stuff like that, to a character, to an NPC that just literally just stands there. There's nothing dynamic about it, right? So that's another comparison. That's like what are you trying to say? To you, Dofus fans and longtime players, Dofus Unity will not be the breath of fresh air we have been hoping for years. And again, it's sometimes the fresh air is for the developers themselves, right? This is why our direction changes. This is why people leave the company. This is why people leave the company to work on other stuff, right? If Dofus is stagnant for you, then leave. All right, you don't have to be here. Whether that's talking about interface, slide mechanics, to change maps, blurry scenery, it's adapted to resolutions of PC screens these days. When you don't have black borders on the sides, the shower dish rendering. This is another comment I've seen, and again, I'm gonna weigh in on here. A lot of people are saying these are childish designs. That's funny. Actually, this is my screenshot over here. And this comment couldn't be so wrong. You guys know, you guys are playing Dofus, right? Dofus, you mean that game that's very whimsical, very silly, very wacky, very cartoonish? If you're literally complaining about the game being childish, you don't know Dofus, because this is literally the tone of the game. And this became so apparent when I worked with the touch team, because during the relaunch, their marketing guy reached out to me, and he showed me a cut of the trailer they wanted to put out for the relaunch to promote Dofus Touch. When I saw this trailer, my jaw dropped because because it became very apparent to me that this game is childish, right? Because the trailer they showed me, if I didn't know what Dofus was, I would have said they were trying to promote a game that was for like 10-year-old kids, right? This trailer would have been perfect on Saturday morning during cartoons for kids. And this is literally the tone of the game. If you don't think the game, if you don't think the game is childish, you should take another look at Dofus. Like you're literally riding on giant turkeys. This is a cartoony ass game. So complaining about childish design, like, get out of here. Get out of here. Yes, can you make your character look badass? Yeah, sure, if you wanted to. Can you make him look stupid and silly? You sure can. If you read some... Are you guys in tune with the humor of Dofus? Right? So this is another comment where I'm saying is like, come on guys. This is not constructive at all. Rendering the characters or limited number of maps and the reduction in their size. Everything seems to be indicated the goal of Unity is to run on smartphones. Again, our direction is not dictated by platform. Right? It's already Dofus Touch. Right? The art direction comes through an internal decision. Hey, we want to make something different. We want to make something different where people have crazy ass customization options, where we could streamline development on it, where we could do modular animations and apply it to them. Yes, is there's going to be some trade-offs? Of course, right? But I remember, guys, when Dofus went to 2.0 and those character designs. Dofus designs 2.0. I remember people calling these childish and cartoony and for kids, right? People will complain about the big heads and the giant feet. It's all subjective. It's all subjective, and stuff changes. Because I vaguely remember, playing it, and it's like, oh, they messed with my character. He's got a giant head now. He's got giant ass feet. It looks ugly, and now people are clamoring for this style, right? It's a style that was made freaking 15 years ago, right? Like it's time to move on, right? You got to move on to evolve. You got to move on to change. I know change is scary, but it's just a natural progression of creativity, right? If you're hesitant to change, if you're afraid, then you're not moving forward. And again, a big part of Uncommon Intensity is creativity. So I'm not omniscient, and I don't claim to be universal opinion speaking to entire community, but saying that you have good feedback Unity is shameless. Shameless lie in the current state of development of the game shows real disrespect on the part of the studio, on the community. Like, again, this guy's just talking straight emotions. It just seems like a common studio with a maximum of 4 employees per game with the goal of extracting as much money as possible. Really, like you were gonna make the money argument. Dofus, the game that nobody's heard of, and this guy's talking about this freaking studio's making billions of dollars. To mention the Potter's Point project, at least respected to his players, the music, real work has been done here. At least he said something nice. Big fan. I shake your hand. Thank you. I do gotta say the music was pretty. Oh, it hit you right in the feels. I need the soundtrack for that ASAP. And let's see what Puppy Noir had to say. Animations and unique template for animations not different between classes. This is one of the things we lost the most with the implementation. Sega, and they understand this. They understand that this was going to be a trade-off. The implementation of a single template allows us to have big gains in production. And again, I think asking questions as opposed to complaining is gonna put you, the fans, the player, in a way better decisions to be able to provide feedback, right? He explains it. They know this, guys. They know that, all right, if we're gonna change to a modular animation system, we're gonna lose some of the uniqueness of the characters, right? Because it's modular. It's like Lego pieces. All these pieces gotta fit together, so you could build different things with it, right? The implementation of a single template allows us to have big games production on the customization aspect as well as in the performance. This is not naturally achievable. However, I agree with you on the observation that we still have to work to find a stronger class of this, and this is a work in progress, guys. All right. Could this be done by different idols combat? They could once they set the foundation of this, they could totally go in there. Okay, let's work on the seller. Right, the seller's got to animate this way. All right, now we have time to work on this thing. Right, this is going to be iterative. I do not want to make promises. Yeah, Like, this is totally understandable. What he's saying. Combat maps. Again, I'm not gonna comment on this just because I'm not familiar with the gameplay and design elements of how the game functions. Because at the end of the day, Dofus Touch and PC are different. So I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment on the combat here. Character design. The DA of the character classes here. The DA of the character of the class characters. Here too we have mixed feedback. To say that everyone hates it would be a lie. I don't hate it. Personally, I think they're pretty cool. I think it's pretty in tune with, they look like Dofus ass characters. To say the majority loves it, it would be a lie to ourselves. And again, yeah, there's people who don't like it, and that's okay. There's clearly still work to be done. Is finally having the game in the hands that allows this community to show characters evolve in the right context. The feedback has also evolved a lot. What we presented via character lineups in 2021 and what we have now. I might not have all the answers on all the points in the first response, but it's necessary, and I will complete later. I will remind you that we have a live next week, which will debrief and we will debrief the first week of beta, whether the feedback is positive or negative, and we'll just like, how awesome is this? That they're being proactive with engaging with the community on something that is work in progress. Like, this was such a, I mean, not to say a professional, but this was such a level-headed response. However, attacks on the teams will always be limited, and yeah, I wish you a good game, whether the beta or on the flash. As you see, this guy was so, props to this guy, big props to this guy. But yeah, hopefully let me see, how are we doing on time? I don't even know. 20 minutes, okay. Yeah, so hopefully the big takeaways, guys, we're gonna wrap this up here, is be constructive with your feedback. You know, if you don't like something, it's okay. Express your opinions, but express them respectfully and constructively. All right. Don't attack people just because you don't like something, right? Actually, really quick too. I know people been complaining about the feet. How the feet are too small. This is a tangent. This just popped into my head. This is another thing I've been seeing too, where people are complaining about the feet and the feet too small. There's a little thing called perspective, which you know, some people out of the creative industry, out of the artistic world, may not know about. But perspective. Dofus is a top-down game, right? Which means it has perspective in it. Perspective means is things that are closer to the viewer or to the camera are going to appear bigger. Things that are away from the camera are going to appear smaller, right? Dofus is a top-down game where the camera is up in the sky, so you're looking at the characters from top down. If you guys could do this in real life. If you guys go outside to somewhere where you could go up, you know, to the second floor, third floor, fourth floor, just go up high and look down at people. You are going to see people with big heads and tiny feet. All right, this is art 101. This is basic art principle. Again, there's a perfect thumbnail here. If you look at a figure from top down, their head's going to be bigger than their feet. Does that mean that physically their head is bigger than their feet? No. It means that they are in perspective. right? And this is nothing new, guys. This is not something Dofus and the team, you know, one night they got drunk on cheese and they decided like, hey, you know what? Oh, my accent's horrible. You know what would piss off people if we draw characters with tiny feet. I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but people who are complaining about the tiny feet, your criticism is invalid, right? Because you're literally seeing it right here. You know what? Let's pull up some people. Let me see if we could pull down some real world reference. There we go. There's a picture of a real guy. A real picture of a real guy. What do you guys see? He's got a big head with tiny feet. Big head, tiny feet. Oh, it's funny how that kind of works out, right? If we look at top-down games, what do we see? Big head, tiny feet. All right, this has always been a thing. So I don't really get where this comes from, other than, again, I don't like it. I don't like it, right? Because I think, I know this is a tangent, guys. I know this is. Let's go back to Dofus 2.0 characters. Right? The characters really don't have giant feet. What they have is giant boots. And giant like shoe wear. That's what they have. Because I wouldn't necessarily say the Saram has giant feet or the Inaripsa. They got giant boots. That's what they have. Which, you know, again, maybe down the line, you could actually see the boots you have equipped onto your character. How cool is that? You could have your Should I go there? Should I go there? You know, you could have your clown ass childish boots equipped on your character, right? You can see your giant ass boots. Look at this. Have you guys seen the equipment in this game? You play as dog people. Like, yeah, people who are like 30 are playing the game. But at the end of the game, this is a cartoony ass kid looking game. Okay, I went there. I'm sorry if I ruffled some tofu feathers. I'm sorry, guys, but I just had to get out there just because it sucks to see the developer get hammered like this. I know they're putting in a lot of work. I still regard like their art team as probably like some of the best art people in the world. But yeah. Okay, so going back on what was I talking about? I was saying, yeah, you know, if you don't like it, make it, you know, why you don't like it, right? Why are things like this? Like, ask questions, analyze them, process them, and then critique, right? And, let me see. Do I have any closing comments? I don't know how many of you guys are listening to this. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. So far, it's, you know, the little hour I played, I think it was cool. I think the game's heading in the right direction. And I do want to leave with one thing. I hope, Ankama, you know, I hope they stand their ground. Because I know, I can see what they're trying to shoot for. I see their vision. And I hope they stand their ground and just make this as badass as they can. And I hope they make this the best they can, and everybody wins, right? Everybody wins. But alright guys, until next time, this has been Challenge Reacts. Take care of yourself, and peace.